So, what's the bad news? More orcs rampaging through the docks? Or have those infernal statues sent another soul flying to his death? This here's my family business. Yes, there's been a Roberts escorting stiffs into the next life since the foundation of Seal itself. They don't write epics about morticians, but I'm proud of my work nonetheless. Sad story, that. Though if I'm speaking plainly, the sentimental aspect of it all doesn't make much of an impression on an undertaker. Especially not these days, with so many. I just concern myself with giving the remains a respectable exit from life. We set him to rest in the northern graveyard. Perhaps he can finally get a little peace. What about it? Didn't I just say we gave it a respectable send-off? Why are you giving me the third degree? Now, if you don't mind, I'm trying to run a business here. That's enough of that now!
Dear me. Oh, how the coast reminds me of my long-fled youth. I sailed the seas. I walked. Oh, how nice it is of you. The very picture of youth, to break the monotony of an elder's day. Wild away on this hardwood bench. Pray, let me be forward with you, O sapling rose, O leaf of spring, for my weary mind is troubled, and would highly prize thy gentle-handed assistance, thy kind ministrations. I am but an aged elf that has seen the years parade in long succession. Gladly shall I tell you more. Will I regale thee, O whelp of men, with my tale? But not here, where the winds may steal my words. You would listen to my grievances, guide me towards untroubled realms. Oh, you are truly a wonder, oh budding flower of the morn. Yet that which I would tell you is of a rather private nature, so let us escape both the chill and the eye of public scrutiny. Hot spiced wine and a snug little room awaits us on the King Crab's first floor. Let us go there so that we can warm our bones, yet make shiver our hearts with a tale.
You there! A moment of your indulgence, if you please. You are the source hunter, are you not? The hero the whole of Sightseal is abuzz about. The talk of the town. The juiciest... No, scratch that. It is so much more than a delight. It is an intervention of fate. Yes, that's it. Fate has put me on this very spot so I may tell you all about a most intriguing opportunity indeed. Mendius, at your service. What is my profession? Well, I'll tell you what it used to be, and that is a man of medicine. But what does a man of medicine do but mend what has first been broken? Oh, it's not merely an opportunity. It is a once-in-a-lifetime chance to become better. To become the full...
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Quite right. Adventure is what we live for.
See here. You and I share the same passion. I never doubted it for a moment. The thrill of walking the unbeaten path. Too bad your line of work comes with such measly recompense. Am I right? The wage of a mere soldier. Now between...
Yes, some extra gold is always welcome.
Indeed. Indeed, gold is always welcome. And among the fabulous find... Even so, my friend, matters of a pecuniary nature aside, what is life without variety, without spice? To be a source hunter must get frightfully dreary sometimes. Am I right?
Excuse has more holes than a slice of this fine Gorman bear.
Better to be served than to serve, I concur.
Well spoken. Well said indeed. Life's too short to spend it doing someone else's bidding, am I right? Of course I am. And that is exactly why I am here. Why fate has put me right by the door to the King Crab, so that I could meet you and tell you about the marvel that is the Fabulous Five. The Fabulous Five. How I enjoy simply saying the words that describe the most illustrious and celebrated adventurers' guild in Riverlon. Our mission, to better the world. Our mantra, to better ourselves as we do so. To realize you'd like nothing more than to enlist, wouldn't you? Of course you would. And you can. Of course, if you still have questions, I shall answer them to the best of my abilities. But if not, how about we get started? What a gem of a question. Straight as an arrow, sharp as a switchblade. Most. Now then, to join the Fabulous Five is to join a fellowship, to join a fraternity, a sorority, a community. The title of Knight is bestowed upon you the moment you sign our waiver, and so it all begins. Of course, should you spread the word, should you propagate the gospel of the Fabulous Five and thereby draw new knights into our fellowship, by now, the genial glow of the fellowship must have warmed your heart. It has, hasn't it? But did I say fellowship? I mean family. Work hard. Fulfill contracts. Enlist new knights, and swiftly shall you rise through the ranks. You will better yourself. You, of course. All you need to do is sign this waiver, and
And me. May all the riches in the world be ours.
marvelous, magnificent. Oh, but what am I saying? Fabulous is the word. You may not realize it yet, but your fortunes, your very life is about to change for the better. So let us not dilly-dally. To business. Your first assignment. You found new recruits already? Efficient. Proactive. Oh, I like that. Send them to me and I'll sign them up. And of course, since they're your recruits, you'll get a share of every assignment they complete. Isn't that just fabulous? They call the undead a problem, my friend, but those who know the ways of the Fabulous Five see no problems. They see opportunities. An enterprising spirit can wrench... Oh, it's a pretty straightforward task, this one. Now, in this town dwells a wizard. Ahu is his name, and he's a frightful eccentric. Scientific type, you know the kind. Favors reason over faith and all that. Not Fabulous Five material, him. His experimental weapons may keep a couple of... One of them was a big lumbering apparatus. A frightful automaton shaped like a giant made of steel. It was supposed to crush the undead, but you can guess what happened. Did it become sentient? Was it cursed? Whatever the cause, the thing relieved itself of its pilot and headed north towards a network of caves. Now ask yourself, what if it comes back? It could smash this. Luckily, there are those in this world who belong to the Fabulous Five. The braves who eat such monstrosities for breakfast. Go, my friend. Find this wizard's abomination and claim your just...
Hello. I suppose you're here to viciously interrogate me for information I don't have, like our noble Captain Aureus before you. I am the Duke of Ferrell, though I suppose my name is in the mouths of enough ruthless gossipers that you've heard of me by now. It's very tragic news. I won't posture and say that the Chancellor and I were anything near allies, but I truly never wish the man harm.
Whatever happened to that troop of eager imbeciles we sent to the northern cave?
Do I seem like the sort who concerns myself with such things?
You'll be concerned enough when you realize that reward money won't be lining your pockets. Sorry, I've run out of signed handkerchiefs. An Alistair keyring, maybe. In any case, make it quick. You're not the only fan who wants some of my time. What do you mean, not familiar? You expect me to believe you've never heard of Alistair the Almighty? Why, I'm only the most famous wizard this side of the distance. Although, it'd be worth checking the other side too, just in case. And don't forget, I'm the most eminent member of the Fabulous Five to boot. Surely you already know we've been voted the most influential adventurers guild. Well, well, you're far from my caliber, but who isn't? It's good you're eager, but let me give you a word of warning. Aim for my spot, and your career in the Fabulous Five will meet a most unsavory end. Ah, you'll be dealing with Ahu's little abomination, will you? I'd go myself, but I'd fear I'd end the fight before anyone else got in their licks. If I don't leave a few crumbs for the newbies once in a while, they'll accuse me of stealing the spotlight, you see. Those nasty beasts are hardly worth my time, though I suppose I'll step in if none of the recruits manage to prove adept enough to handle a few skeletons.
What have we here? A source hunter, is it? Well, my day just became rather more stimulating. Oh, stand still then, if you don't mind. I want to take a good long look at the so-called savior of Sicile. Tall as an elf, strong as an orc, but your face, quite classical, isn't it? Statuesque, some might say. Yes, smooth and sturdy as marble, yet fine as a chisel's edge. And my word, what passion burns from your eyes. Please forgive my being forward, but I dare say, can it be? Well, you're exactly the person I've been searching for. That I have. For nearly a lifetime, it seems. Well, I'm sure you must know what I mean. Like existence itself lacked a significant component. Like if you could only fill us. I believe I have found that component, that body, that spirit within you, Source Hunter. Come, if ever we are to be united, we must truly entwine our fates. We must link our causes forevermore. Yes, you must join the Fabulous Five right away, as soon as time permits. Together, as a team, we'll explore the boundless realm before us. We'll uncover fate, inch by inch. So you've joined up. You've sworn to share in our adversity and our bounty alike. Oh, you've made my heart soar. I can finally offer you our finest adventuring equipment at fantastic in-house rates. Come now, let's trade. Well, you must be thrilled to find yourself a member of a team so widely renowned for its valor and skill. And you must be even more curious about how you yourself can suit. I am Anna, jewel in the crown that is the Fabulous Five. I've cut 1,000 throats and baked 1,000 bread rolls. Stolen the crown jewels of the Queen of Errata, and, with my pockets full, helped her reach enlightenment. When the day comes that I die, the gods will evacuate the heavens to make space for my formidable collection of designer slippers. But haven't we wasted enough breath with chit-chat? Come now, why don't we trade instead? A member of the Fabulous Five can't well be seen with those playthings you call weaponry. Oh, darling, that was so long ago now. Who can remember who said what after all this time? What matters is the here and now. Well, you are a member of the eminent Fabulous Five, after all.
So you're just hanging around the inn, are you? Waiting for what, exactly?
I'll thank you to leave me be. That's...
Oh, you think you can speak that way to a... Well, suffice to say it, I've got my eye on you, Baron.
I am a duke, potato-eating peasant.
tasked with taking out that crazed robot in the northern cave. I'm sure you'd like to equip yourself with the finest possible Tell me, Alistair, have you ever had the fortune of challenging the fabled wizard of Hunter's Edge?
Fortune? Ha! He should be so lucky as to be defeated by Alistair the Great.
They say he's privy to ancient and arcane secrets, the likes of which I doubt you could even fathom, old friend.
Oh, my good man. Drink, you please.
Please do keep shouting.
Into the fray once more.
So you're just hanging around here,
Come now, Alistair.
waiting for what?
Sure you've met your match once or twice.
Ha! The closest I've come to my match is when I lead her over long while lighting my pipe.
Careful now. Your head's growing more swollen than saffrons, I dare say.
Whatever happened to that troop of eager imbeciles we sent to the northern cave?
Do I seem like
On
the
the
sort
men.
who concerns myself with such things?
You'll be concerned enough when you realize that reward money won't be lining your pockets.
So you're just hanging around again, are you? Waiting for what, exactly? Speak that way to her. Well, suffice to say, I've got my eye on you there.
Tell me, Alistair, have you ever had the fortune of challenging the fabled wizard of Hunter's Edge?
As good as a new penny.
They say he's privy to ancient and arcane secrets, the likes of which I doubt you could even fathom. Friend.
Go on, send the letter before you lose your nerve.
Oh, my good man. Drink, if you please.
Please do keep shouting, like.
Soon the last will be beaten. Beaten.
Move along.
The torturer. All hail, Grog.
Greetings, greetings. Oh, you are most welcome in my chamber. Customers rarely find me up here, but I do so abhor the hustle and bustle of the marketplace. That I am. I have spent more of my life on the road travelling alongside great caravans than I have in any given place in Rivellon. All of this earth is my home, for a few days or even but a few hours at a time, that is. You wouldn't believe some of the things I have seen. Oh yes, a city besieged by the dead isn't even remotely special to me. All the better that it isn't. For you and for— Oh, but let us not discuss. Let us browse and barter.
Teeth of Surma, soul shredder. The end is nigh. Death comes a creeping for you, Victoria! last will be beaten. Beaten like the anvil of Grog, the torturer. All hail Grog! All hail his hot-steeled instruments. Ah, you have come. Yes, that is most satisfactory. Begone, brittle mask of age. Hear me now repeat the words of Brittletooth, the child snap. My name is Eglandir Twil Selanar, elf of the House of Gandavum, the slaughtered House of Gandavum. But by the twin blades of the Shadow the game, yes! A game of blood and brutality, of death and dexterity. Fun as herring the horror harlequin. The elves of Gandavum, they lived in peace. Oh yes, but one night, when the moon had hid her face, the orcs of the tribe of Kazuldagar, all undone. Every last one of us. Except for me, the midnight rambler, away from the city. I was very old back then already, though indeed I whisper of many years hence. But death shall not find me. Oh no, not I may be frail, a withered grey, but the wealth of kings is mine. Countless assassins have ministered to the vengeance that is my want, and now is almost over. By Kala, Lady of the Last Gaze, I swear it is almost done. Only the very last one of the Kazaldagar still eludes me. The crowning I have tracked her down by the curse of the spine spear I have. She does not know her ill-shapen sun is setting fast. Color the dusk red, O sword of youth. Bloody the day with the bramble sap that runs through the veins of Victoria. Bring me the amulet that clings to her flesh. Yes, Victoria. She is the one whose heart must be held in hand. The heart around which the fingers of that. The orcs of Gazuldagar. They knew my name. Oh yes. By the bite of the roving rattler, they knew my design. And so they sought to save their last. An infant. She who was to be queen. Her name is that of a woman. Her employment that of a civilized being. But by the fork of Barbara Manitou, she is nothing but an orc. A cyst of nature. One of a misbegotten litter dragged into life from the tumoured womb. Victoria. Librarian. Daughter. Adopted child of Cecil, Mayor of Sicile. There is bloodlust in you. I can feel it.
That was quite the radical change we witnessed. I never would have thought that the benign old man we met outside would turn out to be a vengeance-driven aficionado of assassins.
The hunters go stalking in the night. By the needles of the million bleeder, they'll end it all!
Indeed. Victoria probably doesn't even know about her past. And yet she's on a, let's call him, eccentrics hit list.
Here I wait for thee in the dark. But the Yes. Yes. Have you made...
Look out! I see a trap nearby. What venom churns within me?
Greetings, traveller, and may the Immaculate Conduit's myriad blessings comfort and cradle you. Tell me, have you yet heard the revelation? What's in a name, dear friend? For we all begin equal in the Conduit's eyes, and only through great deeds may enter into her inner ring. You mean you haven't heard? Oh! What fortune that I may share the goddess's salvation with one who has... Steel yourself, friend, for your mortal spirit could be forever transformed from this moment forth. The conduit, by following her instructions and becoming initiated into the one way, we can each of us live on for a span greater than the number of stars that twinkle within the goddesses. She came from on high to we mortals and showed us the path to the goddess, where all living souls are natural. She showed us that injury and malady need not mark the end of life, but that through her methods we could for this hallowed information, you must seek an immaculate chapel. Go north, friend, through the forest and into the town of Silverglen, where all may be revealed. There, among her followers and friends, dwells the goddess's ecstasy, her one way.
Oh, my good man. Drink, if you please.
Go on the path to the righteous, my friend. Forget not that the conduit has great plans for you.
Back on my feet again.
Pointless chatter with strangers does so thrill me. How did you know? Please continue interrupting my drink if you'd be so kind. How curious of you to show interest in a lonesome stranger at the bar. Let me answer by saying that who I am is hardly any of your business, and anyone with an ounce of tact would have known that already. So you've wrangled a position in the Fabulous Five, have you? I'm fairly brimming with enthusiasm at the prospect of calling you a partner. You've been sent after Ahu's insane robot, I understand. Do you imagine that while you're busy being crushed by that abomination, I'll manage to get through a whole drink, distraction-free?
They say he's privy to ancient and arcane secrets, the likes of which I doubt you could even fathom, old friend.
Hearty welcome to the King Crab Inn, and a pleasure to have you. You look like you could use a round or three, so what'll it be? Have a seat and stay a while. The name's Ivad. Pleased to make your acquaintance. I've been offering the weary travellers of Sicil drink and rest for nearly 2 decades now, but the king crab's older than that by a long shot. All you see before you is the manifestation of my great-grandpappy Horatius Dungeness's noble vision. Beer and naps for everyone, no questions asked. Well, between you and me, things have been rather slow since the, incident. But with spirits high and liquor flowing like it is tonight, it seems the crab may just come out of that pinch. Psst. Mind if we keep our voices down over that sensitive subject? Death and dark magic ain't exactly great for business, you know. Councillor Jake, that poor man, I knew too much about his affairs, you know. Never figured it my business to say anything, but after all that's happened, I wonder if that weren't a grave mistake. Esmeralda's longest-standing lover has the audacity to remain lodged at this very inn, you know. He's called the Duke of Ferrell, a high title for a low man. If you haven't yet asked him about Esmeralda, I'd recommend it. That room where it happened, it was rented to a certain woman, though I regret to say I can't say exactly who. This inn isn't in the business of asking many questions, if you know what I mean. She came heavily cloaked, but paid the full sum in advance. I was used to such transactions after many similar concerning a certain Esmeralda. Figured this were just more at same. I saw one other figure go into the room that night. Someone tall, built broad like a man, but shrouded the same as she. Again, standard practice for Mrs. Councillor and her visitors. I was startled awake by a horrendous hubbub shortly after midnight. I jumped up and grabbed me grandpappy's machete, bleary-eyed and awash in fright. By the time I burst into that room, it was horribly silent. There was only Jake on the floor, dead, surrounded by what may as well have been a battlefield. Whoever done it has escaped through the window, but I saw nary a soul when I looked out. You can bet I hightailed it to the Legion barracks faster than a jackrabbit after that.
Surely you've met your match once or twice.
3 hopeless sailors. Truly wish I could help you, but I'm barely keeping afloat as it is.
Your head's growing more swollen than saffrons, I dare say.
Well, suffice to say it, I've got my eye on you, Baron.
I am a duke, potato-eating peasant.
Back, demon! Back, or I'll... Well, what's this? Oh, Medora, you lummox. 1,000 pardons, comrade. This old bear's... I'll tell you, it sure does me good to set eyes on another of our order. From Academy West, aren't you? Give Captain Wartruce my regards next time you see him. You wouldn't. I trained up in Academy North, after all. We don't cross paths with you Westies all that often, but it's always a pleasure when we do. Medora's the name. Retired, or so the Order keeps trying to tell me, but never out of commission. My hand to your cause and my sword at your side.
They say he's pretty...
Heavens hornets! That's quite a story, comrade. And come to think of it, one that might concern you. See, I'm here on, well, let's call it a loan from a town to the north of here. Hunter's Edge by name. There's been an attack there, comrade. Orcs. Not your run-of-the-mill savages either, but ones who've taken dark magic to new heights. What they want in Hunter's Edge, I can't say. But it's my responsibility to send them packing. Preferably with their horns in their suitcases and a knee-knocking fear of ever crossing paths with a sauce hunter again. I came south seeking the Legion's help, only to find it tied here in Sicil. They don't have a spare soldier to send northward, and even in my finest form, I can't clear the place of that many orcs without backup.
By the skin of my teeth, comrade. The savages were rounding up villagers when one of them activated a tripwire on our village wizard's property. Fortunately for me, that particular wizard has a penchant for things that go boom in the night. I managed to wrench free of my captor's grip and flee toward the forest. He pursued me for miles, but I'd lost him before I made it into the Sicil hinterlands. Well, comrade, I hadn't thought of it till you tapped my shoulder just now, but perhaps that's where you come in. I need a contingent I can trust if I'm to take back the town. And the way I see it, you could use reinforcements here in town. I've been scouting Sicil for some time now, and I believe I've sussed out sufficient intel to help solve the murder of the Councillor. With our minds and swords in tandem, we'll make short work of the perpetrator.
Have you ever had the fortune of challenging the fabled wizard of hunting?
Well, you know the old expression. 2's a tea party, 3's an invasion. I know this place like the back of my hand by now, and the orcs up north will be short work for a trained-up trio of sauce hunters.
Another source hunter on the team will make us all the more formidable against this wicked magic. Welcome aboard, Medora.
That's the spirit. Listen closely now. Do you hear it? That's the sound of every orc and sorcerer in a 100-mile radius shaking in his wee boots.
Hello. I suppose you're here to viciously interrogate me for information I don't have, like our noble Captain Aurea. Yes, she and I have a history. That's hardly a secret anymore. I quite doubt it was even a secret from Jake while he lived. As easy as it would be to pin suspicions on Esmeralda or I assure you that the affair was never so steamy and sordid as the busybodies around town make it out to be. Jake and Esmeralda had no great affection for each other. He had his interests, she had hers, and there was little passion left between them. Certainly not enough to fuel a murder. It's very tragic news. I won't posture and say that the Chancellor and I were anything near allies, but I truly never wish the man harm.
Watch out! I smell the fierce stench of frightened source goblin.
Actually, I think that's only roast pig.
Ah, yes, of course. This time.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
I'm straight. I'm true.
Say, no one's around. You wouldn't raise a fuss if I, borrowed one of these fish, would you?
Borrow, indeed. I'll sooner meet a cat wizard than see that merchant repaid.
Come now, I'll be good for it, I swear!
On the market, it seems.
I never would have dreamt of resorting to petty theft during better times, but what choice have I got now? If it's steal or starve, I'll choose steal. Oh, my story's tired by now. I was happy enough, prosperous enough, before these lean times around Sicil began. Still, that doesn't waive a man's need to eat, you know. So what do you think? Should I snag a fish?
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Heavenly herring, delicious dogfish. Yours for a scrap of gold each.
A good day to
Yes, you know what they say about giving a man a fish. This man should learn to stand on his own 2 feet.
Get it while it's fresh!
I suppose you've got a point. Another day, another rumbling belly. Morals never fed a hungry man, you know.
Eat a big cheese on your broth with a wheel and a good...
Plenty of fish in the sea, but I've got a thousand of the lot on my laps.
No, it ain't. He drove me straight to the pub and back.
And don't forget the time you got...
Have you found us a job yet? We'll take anything. Really. The Fabulous 5, eh? That sounds like just the right opportunity for 3 brawny buccaneers like us. We'll go right away. Thanks.
No, it ain't. He drove me straight to the pub and back.
And don't forget the time you got caught passing a love note to the Lizard Councillor's wife.
Is that why we're going to sail against the law anymore?
Honest man for an honest girl.
Slimy, reeking, rotting sea bat.
Toe of snake, ring of worm,
How fares your first quest, hero and hunter? Fabulously exciting, I'll bet. Yes, I've met them. Oh, they're a very promising set indeed. They've already left on their first assignment, don't you know? Yes, indeedy. Left for Lucula Forest, that leaf-covered playground of goblins. Oh, such stories they'll have to tell if... I mean, when they make it back.
Eat a big cheese on your broth with a wheel and the good stuff.
Pull your hair.
I get white cheese, blue cheese, old cheese, new cheese.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomato.
What are ye staring at? Captain Jack's the name, though the title may be a little generous at the moment. My crew ran off, and I can't find enough hearty souls to help me reload the ship. Those scallywags heard there be silver in the Lacula mines, and they abandoned ship like the lily-livered turkeys they are. Haven't seen them since the day we docked.
Elemental will inject some vim into your routine.
Oh, hello, love. Nice day for a little stroll around the market, isn't it?
Heavenly herring, delicious dogfish, yours for a scrap of gold each.
That thief is free for now, but I wonder how long it'll be until his growling belly seduces him back onto the crooked... Thank you for making that would-be thief see reason. I only hope your instruction lasts. The last thing the plagued people of Sicil need is a thief among them.
A good day to you.
Hello, proportionate one. Oh, I can see from the symmetry in your face that you are a great fan of the fine arts, no? I'm a painter by trade, as you can see, but a cartographer at heart. You might think there isn't enough work for one of my talents in a downtrodden city like Sicil, and you'd be quite right. I travel around Andervale, mastering my craft and finding new subjects to add to my litany of lovely portraits and complex maps, like this rooster I'm working on now, and the landscape that surrounds him.
But if one were to reduce the quantity of skull dust by a percentage of 2, perhaps the stability could be increased by as much as 3-fold.
Oh, a source hunter. Imagine that. Quite a bit more petite than the last of your kind I encountered, aren't you? Yes, by nearly 20 centimeters of tibia, as my memory serves. But no matter. Even if it couldn't spare its heartiest specimen, I'm sure the Order sent the individual with the next highest probability of success. Certainly. What would you like to know? I've applied myself to that problem for 2 years and still haven't come a step closer to solving it. I declare it an act of the Almighty's, if I believed in such things. Some events, Source Hunter, can be neither controlled nor understood by mere men. The Councillor, terrible loss that. Though we were hardly more than acquaintances, I knew him to be a devoted civil servant. From what I can tell, it seems to be a simple case of jealousy turned violent. The affairs of his wife, Esmeralda, were hardly a secret, you know.
Anybody?
Me?
Neither of you.
Why, I'm more than a little surprised you haven't heard of me. Perhaps I can... It was I who cured the Duchess of Arata of her unslakable thirst. A simple pinch of Atropa belladonna in her morning tea. I who discovered that aging itself can be halted by a single application of Cicuta Douglasii. Not to mention that it's been my guidance that has permitted my apprentice Evelyn to make quite a name for herself around Sicil of late. Yes. If that's how we're referring to the secretive use of a revolutionary healing method she refuses to share with her own master.
She's in the other room as we speak. Perhaps you can prevail upon her to offer a demonstration. She's gotten hold of a stone, supposedly capable of fantastic feats of healing, but she won't let me take the briefest look at it. But she claims to have gotten the relic from a little northern town, Silverglen by name, and that an abbot there blessed it with the power to heal.
So, which of you is more
Utter rubbish, I say. But with these blasted undead haunting the travel routes, I can hardly march up to Silverglen to learn the truth myself. Well, she certainly possesses a critical eye and an exacting manner when it comes to making difficult medical decisions. I expect she'll be a very successful healer in her own right when the time comes. She is learning from the best, after all.
more deserving of life? Come, make your case. Anybody? Neither of you cares to plead for his very existence. A mysterious healing stone? Interesting indeed. Nothing sets me on edge like inexplicable magic. Come, make your case. So, which of you is more deserving of life? Come, make your case. Excuse me? This is a private sick room. Who in the name of the Seven do you think you are barging in here? Out, I say, right this instant. Oh, I'm sorry. It's this task. I'm just... Who am I to meddle with life and death this way? I'm an apprentice of the healing arts. Healing. But this decision feels like precisely the opposite. I have but one healing stone, you see, and two direly wounded men who need it. I've been racking my brain trying to decide on the best method to settle this grave situation, but perhaps it's better off in the hands of an esteemed source hunter. Surely you are more accustomed to weighing life and death than I. Yes, a curious relic indeed. I got it from a kindly abbot, Loik by name, in the northern town of Silverglen. He is of a certain faith. I myself was nothing if not skeptical of his claims, but something happened as he handed me the stone. A small cut on my finger instantly healed, leaving no trace of the wound. But it's strange. The stone is only good for a single use at a time before it reverts to a useless, inert state. It takes time to regain its magical properties, and I guard it cautiously. What would you like to know? One of the brave few willing to traverse the trade routes plagued by the undead. A young man, but excellent in matters of business, before he fell victim to an orcish club in the north, that is. Thankfully for him, a cattle trader found him, nearly dead, but not quite the venerable staple of Seal, Stephen, and recently blessed with his third grandchild. He was leading a crew of builders when a stray beam struck him in the temple, and only a few days shy of his last day of work before retirement, no less. Nearly everyone in Seal is familiar with grinning Stephen, and, as you can imagine, he's quite dear to his family. You are? Ah, I thank you a million times for your help. Yes, Boris deserves to experience all the pleasures of life that Stephen has already enjoyed. Boris it is? Yes, I'll deliver the stone. I'm glad we'll get to save one man, but my heart breaks for the other.
Thank
No,
the Seven.
no, this is highly abnormal. What is this? This lightning? What happened? Is this a dream? I don't think so. That stone, somehow it sent us flying into the stars.